The numbers are trending in a positive direction. You know, the Bay Area went to shelter in place early. As a result, we never experienced the massive surge in patients that so tragically affected the New York area and other areas around the world. We continue to diagnose new cases of COVID-19 in the Bay Area and continue to provide care through our healthcare delivery system for those patients. But it's a much lower number of patients and, by and large, fewer severely ill patients than we're seeing in many parts of the country. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't, because we have to remain vigilant and we have to continue to observe the shelter-in-place and other guidelines that our local authorities have put in place.
I'll come back to you in a moment, Dr. Minor, about progress toward a vaccine, but let me turn to Meg for just a moment to sort of tease out what's going on with Moderna. As I understand it, there was some positive immune response in about 8 patients out of a group of, I think it was 45, but there were also some adverse responses to that vaccine.
That's right, Tyler. So on Monday of last week, we saw the first data from Moderna's human trial of its COVID-19 vaccine. They included 45 people in that first round of the clinical trial. But as of the time that they reported these data, only 8 participants worth of data on neutralizing antibodies was available. And those are the ones that, as Dr. Anthony Fauci put it, actually glom onto the business end of the virus and block its ability to replicate. So neutralizing antibodies are what you're looking for when it comes to vaccine results. So 8 out of 8, that sounds pretty good, but they were criticized for not having more data. Also, we knew that there were some patients that experienced side effects in the study. And Stat News, my colleague Matt Herper, reported yesterday on the specifics of one of those cases, a person who is thought to have had the highest dose in the trial, who developed a fever and fainted, some severe reactions. Now, Moderna is proceeding to the next phase of clinical trials with lower doses of the vaccine. But this happens in clinical development as they try to figure out the right dose.
Very interesting. I'll come back to you, Meg, so you can get a question for Dr. Minor. Dr. Minor, I'm not going to ask you to pick apart the Moderna results unless you're inclined to do so, but I am inclined to ask you what your level of optimism is about the medical world's ability to produce a vaccine, let's say, for general distribution sometime over the next 6 to 9 months.
Well, I'm optimistic that there will be a vaccine or multiple vaccines that will be effective in preventing infection with the SARS-CoV-2 virus. I think 6 to 9 months is a very, very short time frame, maybe too optimistic. And also, we have to temper the optimism with the realism that a lot of work has to be done, from getting from the laboratory to a phase 1 study to ultimately a large clinical trial and proof of efficacy. The encouraging news is, though, that there are multiple approaches being used. The approach that's been described by Moderna, which is using a portion of the virus's genetic material, but also over 100 different approaches and ideas being explored in vaccine development using all sorts of different technologies. That's really encouraging.